Hello people of YouTube, I am the ReelCutter. I watch movies, summarize, and review them for the public. Today I will be reviewing Friday the 13th. Let's get this out of the way. I am a huge horror fan, and thus my love for slasher flicks is high. Friday the 13th is one of those culture films. Unlike a cult film, which is a film which you probably never heard of, which has a small amount of following fans, everybody knows about Friday the 13th. When people think slasher, they almost immediately think of Jason Voorhees. His hockey mask is a huge part of pop culture. I'm not going to explain the plot because everybody knows it, but instead my opinion on this film. Friday the 13th has spawned a whole series of sequels, a crossover with Nightmare on Elm Street, a TV series which bombed because Jason wasn't even mentioned in it, and even spawned imitation films. Some good, and some terrible. But what is it about this film that made it so popular? Jason wasn't revealed until the end of part 2, and he hasn't received his trademark mask since part 3. The answer is that he is the ideal slasher. He is silent, strong, and has a creepy presence to him. The thought of this guy lurking in an abandoned campsite is enough to send shivers down your spine. Well, let's actually break down location. He was absent in the first film, Crystal Lake in the second. He didn't return to Crystal Lake until part 4, and he was absent through part 5, which took place in a different location, and he returned to the camp in parts 6 through 7. Part 9, do I even have to say, part 8, do I have to say is out of place. Part 9 tried to fix the mistake of the previous film, but much more to none of that. Out of the 11 films, Jason was in the camp for 4.5 of them. When people think Jason, they think of him in Crystal Lake, and taking him out of his environment, the film loses its creepiness. I get that they couldn't reuse the same plot over and over again, especially for a series which claimed part 4 to be the final chapter. But can you blame them? A lot of stories get rewritten as they go along. Did you know in the original part, in part 6, Tommy Jarvis is going to be the killer, supposedly possessed by Jason, which is where they had the original idea that wouldn't make the screen until part 9. But the original has to be the creepiest, being we don't even know who the killer is. The story of the boy who drowned, and the end scene wasn't even in the script. Makeup artist Tom Savini thought that they should have a chair-jumping end because he saw Carrie before working on the film. Jason was scripted to be dead, and the film wasn't even actually going to be made. The producers presented it as a joke to see if they could rip off Halloween and not get sued, but due to demand, they actually made the film. In fact, the director called to make the film right before the financial sources were going to use the money on a different film. Seeing Friday the 13th as a joke, Sean Cunningham even stated that if he had slept in, the film might have never been made. Nobody expected this film to be so good. It was only made for the producers to have fun, but Friday the 13th was a happy accident and has affected horror greatly enough to make it one of the top-ranked horror movies of all time.